Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. My hair is wet, but I really wanted to seize the opportunity to share this with you. So let's talk about the narcissistic inversions of entitlement. So what a lot of people think entitlement is, and no shame if you think this, we're all about growth here. What a lot of people think entitlement is like being given everything and never having to go through anything and never having to suffer. And so like the most basic understanding would be like when a rich person's parents buy them a car or, like get them into a really good job easily, we call that person entitled. But that actually is not what being entitled means. And oftentimes the use of this word entitled is a straight up projection and a misunderstanding of how suffering works on the planet. So I'm going to tell you that suffering makes people entitled, not the other way around. Having an easy life doesn't make people entitled. Suffering does. Entitlement is a characteristic of narcissistic personality disorder. And narcissists are not created through love and an easy life. And I say that out of respect for you and humanity and empathy for you, that I know in my heart and I trust in my heart that if people are treated with respect, true love, true care, true help, and true support, that they will succeed, that they will not be entitled, that they will be empathetic and beautiful and lovely and amazing. Okay? So then we have to look at suffering, right? Just because someone receives material things doesn't mean that they haven't suffered. Oftentimes, narcissists use material things to hide how much suffering they inflict upon others. And so let's talk about what suffering really is. To suffer is to play the victim, to put it simply. When you play the victim to your problems and you're never growing and you're in that narcissistic web, that wheel of samsara, where you're always creating stories and you're in a karmic cycle, that is what it means to suffer. And karmic people, narcissists who are very entitled, are constantly suffering. And so to be entitled, what it actually means is believing that your suffering or your title gives you a free pass to do whatever you want. Yep. So like, let's say a person goes to school and gets this grand title and a great job. For them to be entitled would mean them thinking that since they went to school and got their title and their formal degree, that they're absolved of accountability, that they're always right, that they know everything, and that no one else can know what they know unless they walk the same path. That's what it means to be entitled. When a parent is entitled, it means that since they have the title of mother, parent, or grandma, grandfather, that everything they do is right, nothing they do is wrong, everything they say is right, and that their title makes them a good person. Their title makes everything they do right. Their title absolves them of accountability. That's what it means to be entitled, right? And so we can have these inversions of entitlement where we see someone who we perceive hasn't gone through things and think that that makes them entitled. And narcissists do that a lot, and it's a straight up projection, right? When a narcissistic rich parent uses material things to gaslight and manipulate their child, they call their child entitled. And they ignore all of the suffering and the abuse that they've inflicted on that child. But who is actually the entitled one? The parent, right? Who believed that their role as a father meant that they could do no wrong, that he could do no wrong. That was the actual entitlement. So we need to stop associating receiving material things with entitlement, right? It's not the same thing. And when we are aware of this narcissistic dynamic where narcissists use material things to control their image, we understand what entitlement really is. and what it means to be entitled. So entitlement also manifests, you've probably experienced this because I've experienced this a lot, where people feel like you have to do things their way. So if they got to their title in one way, they feel like you have to do it the way that they did it. And if you don't, that your way is wrong. And that if you somehow get it in another way, that means that you didn't suffer like they did, or you didn't go through anything. And that is entitlement, right? Oftentimes, we want to have this perspective where there are many different ways to achieve something. And that's part of our individuality as humans, right? We're all individuals. Okay? In narcissistic consciousness, conformity is really big, stifling the individual. So we don't see that I'll have my own individual way of succeeding. You'll have your own individual way of succeeding. And that doesn't mean that you're wrong. It doesn't mean that you're a problem. It doesn't mean that I'm wrong. And it doesn't mean that I'm a problem. It means that you and I are individuals, and we can respect each other as individuals and work together as individuals to create something really beautiful in life, because we're unique, right? But entitled people also may feel entitled to you being just like them, right? They honestly feel entitled to reality. Really entitled narcissists will have this entitlement over reality. They believe them existing gives them the right to control reality. To when they think something, it goes their way. When they think something about you, it's right. Right? That's entitlement. And it's not true. Also, there's this inversion about receiving help or relying on people makes you entitled to their help. It doesn't. We're actually supposed to rely on each other. That's the one problem in society, right? It's no one relies on each other. What? It's if you rely on someone, people call you entitled, and it's wait, aren't we supposed to rely on each other? Think about it. Communities, right? If we all lived in communities, we'd all be relying on each other. In the family, you're supposed to rely on each other. When they give to you, when they give and you give and they give back, and that's not entitlement, that's reciprocity, right? Relying on people isn't being entitled. Needing people isn't being entitled. But needing people and refusing to meet your own needs is entitlement. I'll try that again. Needing people to meet all your needs when you don't meet them is entitlement. But you meet your needs, and you also seek out people who can meet your needs. That's healthy. That's reciprocity, right? But expecting others to meet everything without you doing any work, that's entitlement. And narcissists have this way of projecting, right? I talk about this a lot. Narcissism is like a web. That wheel of samsara, if you're into Buddhism, is it's a web. So there's all these different behaviors. And part of my unique gifts and talents as an individual, which share with me what yours are in the comments if you'd like your unique gifts and talents. I'd love to hear from you. My unique gifts and talents is synthesis, analysis. So in my brain, how my brain works, I'll give you a little window into my brain, is I can see the huge complex web of systems, patterns, emotions, and dynamics all in my mind. And I can synthesize them into labels, into words to speak to you. And I can, when I start talking about one thing in one part of the web, my brain will connect it to this part of the web, and then to this part of the web. And that allows me to see all of the dynamics. So then when I explain things to you, it's I am pulling from all these different parts of the web of this state of consciousness that I've experienced a lot, which is narcissistic abuse. This is what this channel is for, narcissistic abuse and how they work. So everything, it's an intricate kind of mind consciousness program that creates narcissistic consciousness, where everything, there's a lot of projection. I'm just going to say that. I'll keep it simple for a second. There's a lot of projection. But if you like simple, this probably isn't the channel for you, because I'm all about depth. And so yeah, let me know your unique gifts and your talents in the comments if you'd like to share. The internet is not always a love, light, and rainbows place, but I'd still love to hear from you. So yeah, but this is what the inversions of entitlement. So receiving, relying, and needing isn't entitlement, but needing without meeting your own needs is entitlement. Feeling like your title gives you a free pass to do whatever you want is entitlement. And feeling like everyone needs to do things your way is also entitlement. So yeah, I love you. Spread the word, share this video with anyone else who you feel like needs to know this. So yeah, I love you.